born free as the wind blows.
Alright, so part 2, everybody, question for you guys. What's the most interesting thing that you've seen as part of, in the balance patch notes, or, you know, the balance patch is currently being tested in the CFN beta, so what's the most interesting thing you've seen, and how do you think that will affect the game? And we're going to talk about that right now. So, there's two things going on right now, right? There's the CFN announcement, and then for PC, the test, the CFN beta test, which I have right here, which includes, when you get into it, a rage quit penalty system, which is always good. Let's just hope it works this time. Ranked and casual match loading times, are supposed to be faster. Matchmaking improvements, which would be great. That's also supposed to be faster. Fighter profile stats. You know, I guess we'll see how much that is really, how meaningful that is to people. Country league-based rankings, kind of interesting. Friend management system, you can block people. I wish you could talk to people, but whatever. Interactive timeline, I don't even know what that is. And in-game announcer voice, which actually that's a big deal for a lot of people. We were talking about details like that. Yeah. So before we get into the balance patch itself, there are those sort of individual things. I also happen to know, I don't know if it's in here, but they also said that they were using new servers. Now, I actually haven't had a chance to test any of this stuff. I know some of it's on event hubs. I've read a few things here and there. You know, I'll give my quick take on the list. Once I dug into it, I was like, this is a good start, right? I was like, this is a good start. I think the timing is like ELeague is starting. I think their game needs to be in very good shape for the ELeague finals, because I think there's a great marketing opportunity to bring in new players. And new players, you know, the purchase cycle is, it looks good, I'm going to go buy it. And then if they play it and they have terrible loading times, you know, and they have terrible experience with netcode, and the UX makes no sense, then that's going to be a problem. That's like the I guess they call it like a moment of truth, like the where you suddenly realize, oh my god, I feel a little bit like I've been conned here. So they have to. So it's one thing to get people to buy a game, but it's a whole other thing if they buy it and they go, wait, this isn't what I thought it was. So hopefully this is a good start, and hopefully as we move throughout the year, they keep working on this stuff. This is the stuff that people really do care about beyond the core gameplay. Of those things, I think, of the list that they currently have, I think loading times is the most important one to me. I've not seen that that's significant yet, but it's only been a couple of days and I've only seen one video, so I don't know what does anything jump out at you, John, when you look at the beta test, the CFN beta test?
As far as like the outside of gameplay changes, yeah, it all looks like, I mean, they're paying attention to it. They're trying to make the user experience better. And like that's always been a thing for Street Fighter V. They've had all of these crazy details of like how many air-to-airs you've hit with each character, against each character, and all of this stuff. But it hasn't been all that significant. Like the menu's been there, but like people haven't really gone to it. And what I'm hoping for this is that it makes all of those little nuances about the game more significant. And maybe it's like bringing things more to the forefront. Like if the announcer is talking about things like, oh man, you've hit, you know, this character's hit 7 out of 9 air-to-air or anti-airs this round, or so whatever that's going to be. It's gonna focus people's attention on things like that. And so yeah, I think almost anything they're going to do at this point is going to be better for the user experience. And I don't think they're going to do anything that's going to mess it all up. You know, they've probably been listening to community feedback, and they're going to try to, you know, do things like with the loading times and whatnot. So yeah, I think that what these proposed changes will ultimately be good. I don't see them like having a negative impact on the game, but like I'm personally usually more focused on like the gameplay and the competitive side of things. So yeah, I'm totally cool with all like the CFN stuff thus far.
Well, the difference between, I want to point something out here, right? The difference between your experience and my experience is that I spent a lot of, I'm a total loser. I spent a lot of time at home online, right? Whereas you have like a roommate who plays Street Fighter with you, right? So like your experience is, I feel like a little bit skewed compared to mine. That's why I care about this stuff a little bit more, because you can just play Driftwood or your nearby friends in Arizona. You're very much in that scene.
It's competitive, and then the casual point of view more.
Right, so I have the casual point of view. It's like I want to jump online and play, and when I play ranked and the netcode is all messed up, like it's just the most frustrating thing in the world. But sorry, Javits, is there anything that jumps out at you? Where I mean, you were talking a little bit about what interested me actually. We had a conversation before, and I always think of you as like the scientist, the frame data guy, the gameplay guy. And the first thing you said to me was you talked about Guile's stage.
Well, yeah, I saw a video earlier today from Vesper Arcade, and he was going over some of the changes that they did to Guile's stage. And what interested me about that is, now, like you said, people mostly know me for all the tech and, combos and finding out tricks for characters, but I also care about, the core experience of Street Fighter V, and like, that was the Guile stage in particular was one of those examples of like when they announced the Guile stage, I'm gonna shift my mode to a casual state of mind. I'm like, oh man,
you just have to go back in time. You have to go back. Why did you fall in love with video games?
You go back in time. You see the stage. You think of the music. You want to recreate that nostalgic feeling. And then when you play it, it's like the music is a little different, which you can get over that part, but. Like the crates didn't break, and
you expected that to happen too, right?
Exactly.
When the crate's gonna break, that was exactly on the spot where they should have broken. It didn't break. What's up, Capcom?
Exactly. So it kind of gave this feeling of like, do they really care? Are they just pumping out stages just for the sake of pumping out stages? But the fact that they're addressing that, and they something so simple as the crates breaking, it kind of gives me like a new hope, like to have faith that they're listening and they're gonna make these little changes to make the overall experience better. And so going down this list, and I myself don't play online too much for the reasons that this list is addressed.
Right? Yeah.
No, like because it's cumbersome. Like sometimes you wanna set up a lobby with some friends or something, and then like. The only way you can look at your friends list is people that you've added to your favorites, and you have to go to like the CFN menu and type their name in.
I don't even know how to do it.
And then you have to like scroll down manually to like each individual name. So let's say you were the first person I added when I just got Street Fighter V. You're gonna be on the last page.
Yeah.
And then so if I want to invite you, I have to like go manually scroll down all these things.
I manually type. Even people I've played before in lobbies, I still manually type.
Yeah, it's probably faster to do that.
I don't even know what's the fastest. I don't even know.
So that's the problem, that there should be a simple way. It should just be like a list of players, and you just could somehow easily click, or like you could even like sort by character or something. Like let's say I have this list of 30 friends, and they all play, 10 of them play Akuma. I should just be able to click like Akuma. And then I'll see my list of Akuma players or something like that. Because
that'd be great.
You can set your main character, so maybe you can just set that on your friends list. That would be a good idea. So, but not to drift too far off track. Basically,
no, I think you're on track. I think what you're saying is that
the overall experience is just very difficult to get something so simple as a match. Set up a match or see if your friends are online. There's no way to even sell easily if your friends are online. So I think that's an issue, and it looks like they're trying to address it. It's not maybe 100% fixed, but just the fact that
it's not 100% fixed.
Right.
This is just the top tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, but they're looking at it.
They're looking at it.
So now we know, like, that this is something that's on their radar. Like,
I know, right? Now we know. Now we finally know that it's on their radar. Like, I know they said they sent this is what kind of sucks. Is like the only answer they could give us was we sent the information to Japan. That was it. It wasn't like, we're going to fix this is the priorities, blah, blah, blah. But this is great. This is great. I think this is great that we have this information now. We know where their priorities lie in terms of hopefully this is the beginning. Not just like, we're just going to do this stuff and then we're good, right? But hopefully this is the beginning. So with that said, I think what we're all saying is this is good. This is good. We're glad they're working on this stuff. I really do hope they speed up loading times. The video I saw wasn't as encouraging as I would have hoped, but so I hope they keep working on that. I hope they keep working on netcode, so the experience is better and better. And there's a whole bunch of other things. It's all on Reddit. You just have to go to the top of Reddit. I always say that. Let's talk about the balance patch notes, right? So I think there's two questions I want to ask both of you and myself included, which is kind of one of the things is, you know, what stands out for you as, you know, something to look out for when the balance patch drops, may change the game, I don't know, or buff certain characters and certain characters. And then I guess the second question I would ask is like, what's not in there? You know, like what's not being said? Like what do people expect to say? So let's start with you, John. What did you? Is there anything that jumps out at you in the balance patch?
Yeah. I first off, I'm not going to pass full judgment until it drops and we get to play it for a little while and see how things actually change. But given what the text that they've given us thus far, I'm not super excited for it. There were a few key things that I felt like this change kind of rode on, and I don't think they really addressed them. Like we've talked about before, the damage output was a big thing for me. I thought that was a pretty big but easy fix to make, and I thought if you just did that, it would fix things pretty well. And they didn't really do that. I mean, they tweaked Urian a little bit, and they gave him they dialed down a few of his moves, which is a good start, but I didn't feel like that was the main problem. I think that was a problem, but I would have much rather them leave those things alone and just tone down his damage and stun output. They didn't do that. They didn't really touch Balrog, except for giving him 25 less health, which in this game, 25 health, I don't think is all that significant. And then they didn't really touch Laura. And so and then they added new moves to characters, and I don't understand why.
Oh, yeah.
But again,
yeah, no one knows. No one knows. It's a secret. It's a secret.
I mean, honestly, like it feels like say you had say you have a problem with your car, and so you take it to Capcom, and you're like, I think the only thing that we need to fix this problem is a flat standard screwdriver. And Capcom goes, okay, well, here's a hacksaw and like a bicycle pump and like a Phillips head screwdriver, and they just throw all that out there, and I'm like, those are not the things we really needed to make this fix. And also adding new moves, how many different cans of worms could come out of that? We've already seen Zangief can do a one combo stun without using meter if he gets his headbutt, and like
headbutt, yeah.
And Arturo is saying
on a DP, right?
Yeah, which is not like that weird of a situation, right?
No.
And it's like Zangief didn't need that. There were some pretty glaring problems, and only a few, and they really didn't do anything to it. But I'm not passing full judgment yet. We will get the game. We will play the game. We'll see how things go. I don't
think that's going to stay in. I think that was a mistake. I honestly think that was a mistake. I can't believe that can possibly be real. I think that was a mistake.
Why does Cammy get a new Eric? Cammy was already really good, and then they buffed her, and now they gave her a new move. And it's like, what does that achieve?
I also confused about her air throw is really weird looking for Cammy, because Cammy's like this clean, it doesn't feel on brand.
She's doing like a
because Cammy's like this clean. She's like this clean, clinical character. She's very efficient, And then she has this whirly kind of I'm all over the place.
Velociraptor.
I don't know what is going on. I don't know what's going on. All right, so
and what happens when these moves turn out to be overpowered? I mean, maybe they do nothing for the characters. That's like best case scenario. But it's like, if they gave Fang a new move at least, that would have been cool. A character that everyone agrees needs something else. But they gave it to like mid and high tier characters. I'm like, what are you guys doing? But maybe it's great. I don't know. So
I don't know. We're going to find out about what these moves are actually for, because it's not totally clear. But for you, it's clear that you're a bit miffed by the new moves. I think we all are, and that you would have liked to have seen something about damage in there. How about you, Javits? Like, what's your reaction to the patch?
All right, so the new moves, the concept of new moves, I like the concept of new moves. I feel like from Season 1 to Season 2, I feel like some of the changes felt kind of uninspired to me. I feel like they just changed existing moves, and all they did was kind of like flip-flop the tiers. They didn't really... So overall, the game doesn't feel that different. Just like a different set of characters is on top. When you start introducing new moves, then you have to look at matchups different ways. It starts to give it a more fresh feel. So I like the concept of introducing new moves into the game, but I found it strange that they only chose certain characters to give new moves. I feel like if they were going to go that route of adding new moves, they should have looked at kind of the whole cast and like given a little something. Doesn't necessarily have to be something drastic, but just a little something to each character to make it feel like, oh, okay, so this is what I can learn in Season 2.1 and that I can, have fun with for the year. But a lot of these characters didn't get any significant changes. And then it feels like, Cammy and Zangief and I guess Dhalsim are going to be having all the fun now. So it's like, it doesn't feel like that, like they really thought that through, in my opinion. I feel like they should have, if they're going to go that route of new moves, go all the way.
Yeah. You can see a lot of geeks online, I think.
Yeah. And to John's point, I feel like they didn't really nerf some of the characters that were kind of problematic, like Laura, Balrog, Urien. But that just kind of confirms to me that they want them to be this way. And they said that about Laura. They said like they want her. This is the power level that they want her to be at. They toned down some little things. I don't think they're that significant, but I feel like if they're gonna keep those characters strong, then maybe they should bring some of the lower characters a little bit up, just to kind of give everybody more of a chance. But overall, I'm excited that they kind of seem to be doing that. But to his point, they didn't address some of the issues that should have been addressed, in my opinion. Like I spoke about it earlier. The safe V trigger cancels could have been toned down a bit, and just give it a more fresh feel, because right now it doesn't feel that fresh. I feel like it's not enough right now. If there's one system change that I would have liked to see, is the Grey Health. Yeah, from Season 1, not necessarily like heal back as fast as Season 1, but definitely not as slow as Season 2, because that adds to that volatile feeling. Like you're blocking all day, and then even if you block,
or even if you parry.
Or if you parry.
I don't get that at all. Yeah. That's the one Takedo was... sorry, I keep talking about Takedo because I love him, but also when we interviewed, that was one he kept talking about. It was like how he can't use his parry because of the great health.
Right.
Or as much as he'd like to be able to.
So I feel like that's a mechanic that still needs to be looked at. Maybe find a middle ground. Like, not as slow as Season 2, but a little fat, not Season 1. Just somewhere in the middle.
Happy medium.
Yeah, have a good medium, because right now it's a little too crazy with the Grey Health. Okay. But that's where I stand with it. Like the new moves, wish they would have gave it to more characters.
Okay, so I'll finish out on this one, because I know you got to go, John, because you're a busy man. Probably got another show to film or something. There's like 10 shows lined up every day. Lag. No one talked about lag. That was interesting. Everyone kind of. I felt like the community response was, why didn't they talk about lag more? It's still this grey area of like, is it meant to be like this, or are we going to reduce lag? And you feel it so much online, because you have the lag and then you add the more lag, and I mean, I find myself like, I have to hit like certain buttons so early, on wake up, like. I'm getting, sometimes my EX, like, DP will get stuffed because I haven't hit it early enough, which just feels really, really weird. Right. That was something that I felt was missing for me. In terms of, like, new moves, I'm up for new moves if I understand what they're for. I'm not totally sure what those new moves are for at the moment. I feel like Cammy's is a little bit off-brand. Maybe they're trying to make her look more exciting, but I find her kind of boring to watch, but at a higher level, I think she's probably more exciting to watch. I think she's a fairly dominant character. What bothers me the most overall, and I'll just say this for all the Shoto fans out there, is like how weak the Shotos feel right now. Akuma I think is great, but I think it takes a lot of work, and it's Ken's probably the strongest for most people at the moment. But it's like, now I'm seeing like Ken throws out an EXDP and his punishment for one blocked EXDP on Zangief is like a 1 stun combo.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Doesn't that, I mean, talking about risk reward, that just feels a little bit, it's like, you've already made it so like, we only have a few opportunities where we have to use a bar. I say we, but like, Ken players have to use a bar to throw out a DP. It gets blocked, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, you missed an EXDP? Oh, here you go, you're stunned. You're done.
Yeah,
you're stunned by Zangief, and now you're done. So, like, I hope that's a mistake, because I just don't think, I think the whole risk reward there is totally screwed. Like, the minute I saw that, my tweet was basically like the Matrix, like, you know, like the Matrix, like, there is no spoon, right? And to me, it's like in Street Fighter that you have to realize there is no DP. Like, don't use it, because, like, when you watch that, when you see the 1 stun combo, you're just like, why would I ever use a DP?
Well, that's if you look at it that way, that's maybe why you would do it, because they think that you never will. So
I mean,
there's 2 ways to look at it. I see your point. It's a little
it's very, very high risk.
You can kind of use that to your advantage also.
We can all talk about mind games. That's fine, but I just feel like, I think it's a little sad that Ryu. I'm going to move specifically onto Ryu. I just think it's a little sad that we're not going to see Ryu in ELeague. Like, we're just not going to see it. Like, the general public is going to tune in on TBS and watch Street Fighter, right? And there's going to be a bunch of people who said, oh, yeah, I remember this game when I was a kid. I used to play Ryu.
Not here.
Not here. You're not going to see a Ryu. And that sucks. You know, like, and it sucks that you have this global ambassador who's Daigo, who practically is Ryu. And the character is really hard to master. I challenge anyone to go and win CPT with Ryu. Like, it's like, it's really hard to, he's not like the most complicated character in the world. Like, most people know the matchup because they play Ryus every day. And I just think from a marketing standpoint, it'd be better if Ryu, I mean, we'll see. There are some changes that have been made to Ryu. So let's hope that maybe he can compete. Let's hope that maybe somebody champions Ryu and starts to pop up in top 8s as we go along. Maybe it's Daigo, I don't know. But it would be nice to see, like, the mascot of the game not be lumped in the bottom, what is it, the bottom 3 now or whatever. I don't even know where he is.
He's down there.
He's down there. It doesn't make any sense. What bothers me is that, like, if he's always been like, and I know that Third Strike was a little bit different, and people used Ken, but if he's like the mascot of the, I mean, Third Strike wasn't exactly the biggest success commercially, right?
Right.
In terms of commercial successful games, Ryu has always kind of been that mascot, and I kind of wish he wasn't right down the bottom. And I hope someone.
It's okay though, man. He's got a new animation on Scratching Heavy Punch.
Yeah, I mean, like what? I mean,
definitely know what it does too.
I'm excited about that. But I just wish that he was up there. I wish Daigo was playing him, and you know, like I wish this, you know, in ELeague we weren't watching Guile versus Rashid. When we watched Alex Valle and Daigo, we were watching like a hardcore Ryu mirror match, you know, and that'd be kind of hype. Having said all of that, I don't want this to feel like negativity. I play this game every day. I think we all do, and I love Street Fighter. I love the franchise, and I think that in general, I would say that everything that we've discussed so far, we feel like with all of these announcements and stuff going on, and ELeague's seems to be doing a pretty good job as we move into esports. We feel like there's some momentum and some passion from Capcom, at least, to improve this game and get it to a place where their vision for it. It feels like it feels a little bit more like there is a vision for it, and like they're getting it there. It's going to be a different game from Street Fighter 4. It is a different game from Street Fighter 4, but I actually do genuinely enjoy playing it, and I think over the next year, it seems like there's going to be a lot of announcements. It's Street Fighter's 30th anniversary, so you know, I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited to see what happens this year, and yeah, I don't know. How about you guys?
Like similar. I'm in a similar state with the game. I'm hopeful. You know, some of these changes, they look promising, and you know, slowly but surely, the game is getting in a little bit better state, I think. And I hope the communication from Capcom continues to improve. It's still not great, but I think now when they give us these updates, it's a little bit more meat to them, I guess you can say. So
yeah.
It's they're thinking about these things more, and hopefully it's an upward trend.
Well, the patch notes has developer comments, which I think people love. I think they love that. How about you, John? How are you feeling right now?
Man, I've had relationships. One relationship in particular that
Are we doing the relationships? Are we doing the relationship analogy?
And you know what?
We're doing the relationship analogy.
Yeah, I'm gonna be here, baby. Whether you love me or not, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna write about it. As whether or not I'm gonna be having fun playing it, that's in Capcom's hands. But I'm gonna be here anyway, and I'm hoping for the best. So there are definitely fun aspects of the game. It can be demoralizing at times, but yeah, I'm along for the ride no matter what. We're gonna see. So that's yes, I'm optimistic. Despite my tone, I'm optimistic. We're gonna go into the future. We're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be great. Let's do it.
All right. With that, I think we'll say goodbye to everybody. Remember, everyone. Please do leave comments down below in regards to your thoughts about the balance patch. I will certainly be in there interacting with you guys. And this is the end of part 2 and the end this week with Javits, our first ever guest.
All right.
And thank you, Javits.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much, Javits. And I think we should just wave goodbye to everybody now. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.